They called him Il Divino, the Divine One. But Michelangelo Buonarroti was not born divine. He was born human. In struggle, in solitude, in relentless pursuit of perfection. From the dust of Florence to the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, his journey was not one of comfort, but of obsession, faith, and pain. Because to him, art wasn't created, it was revealed. He believed that every block of marble already contained the masterpiece inside. He just had to set it free. Michelangelo was born in 1475 in a small Italian town called Caprese. From an early age, he was different. While other boys played, he sketched faces in the dirt and studied the lines of human anatomy in secret. His father disapproved, believing art was beneath their family's honor. But the young Michelangelo followed his instinct, a voice that told him beauty was sacred and creation was divine. At just 13, he was apprenticed to Domenico Ghirlandaio in Florence, the city that breathed art and genius. Soon, his talent caught the eye of the powerful Medici family. In their gardens, surrounded by sculptures of the ancients, Michelangelo's destiny began to take shape. Yet greatness never comes without suffering. Michelangelo lived much of his life alone, misunderstood, and in conflict with both his patrons and himself. He was driven not by money, but by a burning desire for perfection. A perfection that no human could ever fully achieve. He battled exhaustion painting the Sistine Chapel, lying on scaffolding for years, paint dripping into his eyes, his neck stiff, his back broken. He wrote in his letters, "I am not a painter," yet what he created became one of the most sacred works in human history. He sculpted David from a block of rejected marble, a stone others thought too flawed to use. Where others saw waste, he saw divine potential. That's how visionaries think. They see angels in the marble long before anyone else can. Michelangelo's art was his prayer, his pain, his teacher. He sculpted, painted, and designed until his dying breath. Never satisfied, always learning. At 87, his final words were simple. "I am still learning." Even in death, he reminded the world that mastery is never finished. His works, David, Pieta, the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Dome, stand not as monuments of fame, but as proof that the human soul can reach for the divine through relentless effort and vision. Michelangelo taught us that within every rough stone lies infinite possibility, and that our duty in life is to carve away the doubt, the fear, and the noise, until what's left is truth. So remember his words. The greater danger lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting it too low and achieving our mark. Keep carving, keep striving, because like Michelangelo, your masterpiece is already within you. You just have to set it free. If this story moved you, hit subscribe and share this message. Because every life, like every marble, holds greatness waiting to emerge. And now here are the famous quotes by Michelangelo that will shift your mindset. A man paints with his brains and not with his hands. The true work of art is but a shadow of the divine perfection. Every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. Genius is eternal patience. The marble not yet carved can hold the form of every thought the greatest artist has. Art lives from constraint and dies from freedom. The greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. If people knew how hard I had to work to gain my mastery, it would not seem so wonderful at all. Trifles make perfection, and perfection is no trifle. Work is the only way to make a life truly meaningful. No great work of art is ever finished, it is only abandoned. Lord, grant that I may always desire more than I can accomplish. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. The best artist has that thought alone which is contained within the marble shell. I am still learning. Many believe, and I believe, that I have been designated for this work by God. My soul can find no staircase to heaven unless it be through earth's loveliness. I live and love in God's light. The true work of art is but a shadow of divine perfection. The more the marble wastes, the more the statue grows. What spirit is so empty and blind that it cannot recognize the fact that the foot is more noble than the shoe, and the skin more beautiful than the garment? The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. Only God creates. The rest of us just copy. Learning never exhausts the mind. The greater the artist, the greater the doubt. Perfect confidence is granted to the less talented as a consolation prize. Critique by creating. He who follows another will never overtake him. Your greatness is measured by your horizons. The best of artists has no conception that the marble alone does not contain within itself. We are but dust and shadow, yet capable of divine things. Faith in oneself is the foundation of creation. The hand can never execute anything higher than the heart can inspire. To touch perfection, one must endure imperfection. Desire is the engine of all creation. Death and love are the two wings that bear the good man to heaven. He who truly loves never grows old. The greater the soul, the greater the suffering. There is no greater harm than that of time wasted. The more one loves, the more one suffers. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. A beautiful thing never gives so much pain as does failing to hear and see it. The artist must create a spark before he can make a fire, and before art is born, the artist must be ready to be consumed by the flame of his own creation. He who strives after perfection in everything is likely to achieve it in nothing. It is necessary to keep one's compass in one's eyes and not in the hand, for the hands execute, but the eye judges. What one has most to work at in painting is creating the air surrounding forms. A true artist does not need applause. It is better to aim at perfection and miss than to aim at imperfection and hit. Beauty is the purgation of superfluities.